Astroboy, right? Of course you do, you're ancient just like me, and you also probably played his video game too. Pull up a chair, we both know you can't stand for too long anymore, and let's reminisce about the good old days. This game starts you off with clips straight from the 2003 anime series, instantly letting you know what this game is based on, and also starting you off with peak fiction. There's something truly special about the way shows were animated back in the late 90s to early 2000s, so I was instantly flooded with waves of nostalgia despite never having actually completed this anime from start to end as a kid. Through these snippets we get to see a lot of our origins for our titular hero. We see his creation, we learn that he was once named Tobio, and we also learn he was modelled after a real boy and whom we later find out was the actual son of the game's antagonist, Dr. Tenma. Now we're taken into the care of Dr. Ochanemitsu, who acts as our father figure, and this is where we start our journey. We start with one of the most annoying conversations with a robot, where we've been told that we've been alive for and that we're speaking to Nora. And then we're told, you know what, Nora? Fuck you. You speak there. Annoying, isn't it? Nora basically tells us in text boxes what everything is, means, and does in the game. Not a great way to introduce players to the game's mechanics. So after a long and annoying one-sided conversation, we're let out into Metro City, but not before some big bad robots want to put our abilities to the test. Oh, what's that? A graphic that easily shows us what buttons to press and what actions they do? So we didn't need Nora in the first place? Now you fight these robots, get kicked off the building, and then you die. The game wraps up, and although it's a short game, I had a really good time. Hahaha, joking. After defeating these robots, you unlock your ability to fly, and you're told you can fly anywhere you like within Metro City. And honestly, it may not look great here, but this felt like the first Iron Man flight scene for me as a kid. Having the game open up its environment to you and give you the freedom to fly within the first 5 minutes was a fantastic decision, and one which did not go unnoticed. In fact, there were many other things that I noticed in this game that showed a true love, care, and dedication to the Astroboy character. As this follows 2003's anime, there were many overlaps that gave players similar scenarios or instances that would act as nostalgia bombs for the fans. You unlock your rocket feet by falling off a building, similar to the anime. Metro City, remodeled in this game, looks extremely close to how it's expressed in the anime. Supporting characters return to the game, as well as some extremely notable villains, but more on those in a second. It even uses the same music here, and it's a game that really sets out to give you an interactive telling of that 2003 anime, and it did a fantastic job. And the main crux of the game will see you visit many different regions, all of which are designed differently, so nothing really feels the same. The different locations are reached by flying through their respective portals within Metro City, which the game treats as its open world area / hub world. One thing that really took me by surprise, however, was that Metro City has moments where you fly around during the day, also flying around at night depending on where you are in the game. I gotta say, the way Metro City lights up at night, flying around without a care in the world, with the somber soundtrack playing in the background, it was just so relaxing. Alright, enough relaxing. Astroboy is a fucking weapon, so let's break down his combat, enemies, and boss fights. Firstly, the game does an incredible job at drip feeding Astro's abilities to you, as this game can be completed in about 2 hours, and there are about 7 abilities which are spread out fairly evenly. This means that you'll be unlocking a new ability every 15 to 20 minutes. What this means is that there's always something to look forward to and something new to try that changes up the combat for you, leading into a more enjoyable experience. All his best abilities are here, like his flight, enhanced sight which can also act as X-ray vision, being able to hear for miles, finger lasers, arm cannons, and a heart from a noble sacrifice.
Thank you, Astro. I want you to take this.
However, there are no ass-cheek machine guns.
What? I got machine guns in my butt?
Technically, they're coming out from his hips, but they do look like they're coming out from his ass. I also couldn't help but feel emotions when I unlocked that last power-up too. There's this fantastic montage of enemies that you fought previously, showcasing the journey of power-ups, which reminds the players how far they've come, but also showcases just how powerful you now are. At this point in the game, you've unlocked the 7 attainable abilities and have completely realized your full potential as Astroboy, and it feels amazing. But there's no sense in unlocking these abilities unless you're gonna put them to good use. No, Astroboy, stop! Don't hit sick kids! I'm so sorry, he's still learning. So you get to apply these new abilities in your combat settings. After unlocking your flight, your spin attacks, and enhanced hearing, you go up against your first boss, Magnemite. And like other bosses in this game, these stages really allow you to put your new abilities to the test. You need to fly around, hit Magnemite on the head, pull tentacles, and it does a fantastic job at teaching players the mechanics such as how to lock on and do aerial combat. The bosses only get more complex and difficult from here, but all feel extremely fair. And again, these bosses are taken from the anime, so you'll fight other notable characters such as Atlas, Pluto, and I bet you'll never guess what this guy's name is.
I am the Blue Knight.
It's Blue Knight. You get it? It's because he's blue and a knight. As you make your way through the game, your tenacity in choosing what abilities to use and when is really tested. Some of the enemies you fight or even bosses in the game can deflect moves such as your arm cannon or your lasers. So you're then forced into a situation where you need to get up close and personal and punch them, but then you run the risk of being hit. So now your focus is more on dodging. Conversely, other enemies blow up at close proximity to you, so you have to quickly change your mindset to killing these guys from a distance with either your finger laser or your arm cannon. And the game will often throw a variety of enemies at you, all of whom need to be taken down in different ways. And it really forced me to observe what enemies I was surrounded by, and meant I wasn't relying on just one ability that could be considered overpowered. I was forced to think outside the box and handle my specific situation. This constant variety of enemy types and boss fights, as well as the constant drip feed of new abilities, truly captured the essence and spirit of what it would be like to fight as Astro Boy. Now, as you unlock these abilities, you genuinely feel stronger too. By the time I unlocked the last power up that gave me the strength of 1 million horsepower, I felt unstoppable. There was a sequence that really solidified this for me too. I was fighting a robot named Pluto, and he was doing a fair amount of damage to me. To be honest, he was kicking my ass. But then I fight this guy, and he's meant to be a tougher version of Pluto. But because Pluto gave me that upgrade, I took this guy down in about 1 to 2 minutes. Its power scaling is done so well, and I'm so surprised it was done in this way in an Astro Boy game of all things. You wanna know what else was surprising? The Sonic team made this game. Yeah, just a little fun fact. So fighting enemies and other robots are the only thing that you can do in this game. There are a series of time trials that you can enter as you fly around Metro City, and you can also talk to Uran, who I'll let her explain.
I'm collecting these cards called Collect Cards.
Huh, who would have guessed? You collect cards. Now these collection cards that you collect by collecting these collection cards can be found throughout your levels. They're going to be hidden away in secret areas or by talking to NPCs. And knowing about the secrets within these levels really made me slow down to look for these cards, and consequently made me really appreciate the work and effort gone into each level. By collecting these cards, you'll get a mixture of unlockable figures or stills from the anime, both of which will come with a little bit of info for context. It not only adds to what can be done in the game, but deepens your understanding around the lore that revolves around you and the world that you are currently playing in. There are many other things that you can do in the game too, like talk to NPCs throughout the many different areas. Some will even have mini games that you need to complete, like this memory game, where she would not stop giving me directions, and I looked away for just a second, missing the last direction, which caused me to have to start from the beginning. But all in all, this game is fantastic, and it really captures the spirit of Astro Boy. The quick succession of new abilities, as well as varied level designs, new and interesting characters, as well as many boss fights meant the game always has something new to throw at you, and it never felt stale. And hey, who can go past a good boss fight in space? This game just has it all. In fact, my only real complaint with the game is that it's short. I was genuinely disappointed when the credits rolled and I realized that my time with the game has come to an end after only about 2 hours. I guess that's a sign of a great game, and it's better to leave the players wanting more rather than overstaying your welcome. But thanks to how brilliant this game was, I started watching the 2003 anime, and so far I'm actually really surprised at how close of an adaptation this game is. Astroboy feels like the same Astroboy from the anime. Everything he does or says in the game is exactly what is done or said in the anime, so there is no disconnect there. Same applies for the supporting characters and villains too. It's done such a great job of capturing that original feel from the anime that my appreciation for this game went through the roof. It really is such a special game, especially to those who have seen the 2003 anime. It's going to give you all the big moments, the big set pieces. Only difference is that you are in control of Astroboy. So let me know in the comments down below if you've played this game growing up. Let me know what your favorite Astroboy ability is. And also thank you to the coffee supporters on screen now for funding my ass cheek machine guns. I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Pew 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 pew.